The assembly will now come to order. The chief clerk will call the roll.
Assembly members Anderson, Backus, Brown May, Carter, Cole, Considine, Dahlia, DeLong, Dickman, De Silva, Edgeworth, Flanagan, Gallant, Gonzalez, Golding, Gray, Gurr, Hafen, Hanson, Hardy, Hibbets, Hunt, Jackson, Howdy, Karras, Kasama, Koenig, LaRue Hatch, Marzola, Miller, Monroe Moreno, Moore, Mosca, Nadeem, Wynn, O'Neill, Orentlicker, Roth, Torres Fawcett, Watts, Urick, Anderson, Speaker Yeager.
Here. Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May the record reflect we have 42 members present.
The record shall so reflect. We have 42 members present. That means we do have a quorum. Would members of the assembly and guests please rise? We have the prayer this morning by Father Jeff Paul, the Episcopal Diocese of Nevada, right here in Carson City.
Speaker, members of the assembly, and guests, take a nice, mellow breath and be sure to let it out. Here's a little invocation from the Celtic tradition in honor of spring, and I would encourage whatever response floats your boat or sways your sand dune, amen, amen, huzzah, or if you're a U.S. Marine, hooah. We brighten our souls at the threshold of welcome, greeting of love, greeting of life, greeting of light. Inspire our hearts, our minds, our bodies this spring day. May our souls be peacefully preserved from crown of light to veil of night. We invoke blessing and protection on the members of the Nevada State Assembly and upon all who work herein. And the people said, Huzzah! Nice.
Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order Business 2, reading and approval of the journal.
Carson City, Monday, March
Assemblymember
24th.
Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to dispense with reading of the journal and to authorize the Speaker and Chief Clerk to make the necessary corrections or additions.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. That takes us to Order Business 4, reports of standing committees.
Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Commerce and Labor, to which were referred Assembly Bills numbers 1221, 371, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation due pass. Elaine Marzola, Chair. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Health and Human Services, to which were referred Assembly Bills numbers 636, 42, has had the same under consideration, begs leave to report the same back with recommendation due pass. Tracy Brown May, Chair. Mr. Speaker, your Committee on Judiciary, to which was referred Assembly Bill number 97, has had the same under consideration and begs leave to report the same back with the recommendation due pass. Brittany Miller, Chair.
Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May we go to Order of Business 8, please?
Order Business 8.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Joint Resolution number 9, 10, and 12 be withdrawn from your Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Joint Resolution number 9, 10, and 12 be placed on the Chief Clerk's desk.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Joint Resolution number 8 be withdrawn from your Committee on Judiciary.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Joint Resolution number 8 be placed on the Chief Clerk's desk.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Joint Resolution Number 6 be taken from the resolution file and be placed on the Chief Clerk's desk.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assemblymember Howdy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 39, 236, and 365 be taken from their place on general file and be placed on the general file of the next legislative day.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Assembly Bill 39, 236, and 365 will be taken from their place on general file and be placed on general file for the next legislative day. Okay, we will stay in order of business 8, motions, resolutions, and notices.
Notice of exemption, March 25th, 2025. The Fiscal Analysis Division pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6 has determined the exemption of Assembly Bill Number 508, Sarah Kaufman, Fiscal Analysis Division. Notice of exemption, March 2025. March 25th, 2025, the Fiscal Analysis Division pursuant to Joint Standing Rule 14.6 has determined the eligibility for exemption of Assembly Bills numbers 376, 378, 382, 391, 395, 399, 406, 419, 481, 485, and 516. Sarah Kaufman, Fiscal Analysis Division. Waiver of Joint Standing Rules. A waiver was requested by Speaker Yeager for BDR 23-994, revises provisions regarding qualifications for government jobs to waive subsection 1 of Joint Standing Rule 14.2, dates for introduction of BDR requested by an individual legislator and committees, has been granted March 24th, 2025. Senator Nicole J. Canizaro, Senate Majority Leader, Assemblymember Steve Yeager, Speaker of the Assembly. Waiver of Joint Standing Rules. A waiver requested by Speaker Yeager for BDR 25-1036 enacts the Nevada Housing Access and Attainability Act to waive subsection 1 of Joint Standing Rule 14.2, dates for introduction for BDRs requested by individual legislators and committees with the following condition: must be introduced by March 25, 2025. Has been granted March 24, 2025. Nicole J. Canizaro, Senate Majority Leader, Assemblymember Steve Yeager, Speaker of the Assembly. Assembly concurrent resolution introduced by Assembly Members Yeager et al. And Canizaro et al. Expresses gratitude to the National Conference of State Legislatures for 50 years of service. Whereas the National Conference of State Legislatures was founded in 1975 and has evolved over the last 50 years to become the premier organization solely dedicated to serving the legislators and legislative staff of the 50 states, commonwealths, and territories of the United States and the District of Columbia. And whereas the National Conference of State Legislatures was created from the merger of 3 organizations that served or represented the interests of legislators and legislative staff, and that shared the belief that legislative service is one of democracy's worthiest pursuits. And whereas the National Conference of State Legislatures is a bipartisan organization that seeks to advance the effectiveness, independence, and integrity of state legislatures, foster interstate communication and cooperation, and ensure states have a strong, cohesive voice in the federal governmental system. And whereas the state legislatures of this nation are laboratories of democracy and have continually demonstrated their unique ability to adeptly tackle emergent challenges and bringing together people from different backgrounds and communities to find common ground. And whereas the National State Conference on State Legislatures facilitates the exchange of ideas, provides critical research and information, encourages a rigorous review of the complex issues confronting our communities, states, and nation, and strives to strengthen the bond between state legislatures in the United States and the international community. And whereas the National Conference of State Legislatures celebrated its 50th anniversary on January 1, 2025, now therefore be it resolved by this Assembly of the State of Nevada and the Senate concurring that the members of the 83rd session of the Nevada Legislature recognize and commend the National Conference of State Legislatures for its exemptional leadership and commitment in the legislative institution, and specifically its service to the Nevada Legislature as it celebrates its 50th anniversary. And be it further resolved that the Chief Clerk of the Assembly prepare and transmit a copy of this resolution to the Chief Executive Officer of the National Conference of State Legislatures, and therefore be it resolved that this resolution becomes effective upon adoption.
Assemblymember Brown May.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move for the adoption of Assembly Concurrent Resolution 3.
Assemblymember Brown May has moved for the adoption of Assembly Concurrent Resolution 3. Are there any remarks? Assemblymember Brown May.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Order Business 15.
Order Business 15.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am honored to stand today to recognize the long-standing efforts of NCSL to provide this body and state legislatures around the country with resources, relationships, and expertise. Now, with 50 years of work in support of good governance, NCSL is our professional organization, includes our legislative staff as well as ourselves. This resolution being the 50th in the country, they saved the best for last. With that, I urge your support of this measure.
Are there any further remarks? Seeing none, all those in favor of adopting Assembly Concurrent Resolution 3 signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. The resolution is adopted and ordered transmitted to the Senate. We will now go to Order of Business 9, Introduction, First Reading, and Reference of Bills.
Assembly Bill 540, introduced by the Committee on Government Affairs, revises provisions relating to the governmental administration.
Assemblymember Marzola.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 540 be referred to your Committee on Commerce and Labor.
Without objection, so referred. That will now take us to Order of Business 11, Second Reading and Amendment.
Assembly Bill 29, introduced by Committee on Natural Resources, revises provisions relating to motor vehicle fuel. People of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, Section 13, end of Section 13, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file.
Assembly Bill 32, introduced by the Committee on Growth and Infrastructure, directs the Joint Interim Standing Committee on Growth and Infrastructure to conduct a study during the 2025-2026 interim concerning the Nevada Railway of Carson City and Story County. The people of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file.
Assembly Bill 196, introduced by Assemblymember Backus, revises provisions governing psychology. The people of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, Section 4, end of Section 4, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file.
Assembly Bill 248, introduced by Assemblymember Marzola, ratifies the Physical Therapy Licensure Compact. The people of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, Section 14, end of Section 14, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file.
Assembly Bill 261, introduced by the Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, revises provisions relating to voter registration. The people of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, Section 7, end of Section 7, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file.
Assembly Bill 262, introduced by the Legislative Committee on Legislative Operations and Elections, revises provisions relating to the elections. People of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, Section 9, end of Section 9, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file.
Assembly Bill 348, introduced by the Committee on Ways and Means, revises provisions relating to the legislature. The people of the state of Nevada represented in Senate and Assembly do enact as follows: Section 1, end of Section 1, Section 13, end of Section 13, end of bill.
Are there any amendments to Section 1 or the bill as a whole?
There are none.
The bill is ordered to general file. Assemblymember Monroe Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Order of Business 8.
Order of Business 8.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that Assembly Bill 32 and Assembly Bill 261 be re-referred to your Committee on Ways and Means.
You've heard the motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. Those two bills will be re-referred to the Committee on Ways and Means. We will now go to Order Business 15, remarks from the floor. If you'd like to give remarks from the floor, please indicate by hitting your speak button. And we will start this morning with Assemblymember Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I actually have two introductions. Thank you. First, I would like anyone here for AANHPI Day, Youth Advocacy Day, to stand up, please. Today is the very first Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Youth Advocacy Day. Last week we celebrated AANHPI Advocacy Day, but today is the Youth Advocacy Day. We have over 25 high school and college students from across the Las Vegas Valley representing 11 different schools with us here today. Nevada is home to over 33,000 AANHPI students, and today we celebrate these youth leaders. We want to thank APIA Nevada, Nevada Conservation League, and the AANHPI Legislative Caucus for partnering with AANHPI Youth Advocacy Day. So I hope that the body makes everyone feel welcome today. Thank you. Next, I would like everyone that's here with SEIU to stand up today. I think there's more of them than us, Mr. Speaker. SEIU Local 1107 is Nevada's largest healthcare, home care, and public service union in Nevada, representing nearly 20,000 workers. SEIU 1107 members care for hospital patients, protect water quality, assist low-income families, help operate Harry Reid International Airport, support the tourism economy, protect Nevada's most vulnerable community members, maintain streets and parks, work with foster children, and provide many other critical services. Again, we thank you for all you do, and let's welcome our SEIU members here today.
Assemblymember Gurr.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your microphone system doesn't like me very much. Mr. Speaker, today I'd want to recognize a group of remarkable young women who have shown incredible courage in trying to protect fairness in women's sports. If those of you on the floor with us or those in the gallery would like to stand, please. Seated with me, well, standing now, are Sia Lee. 2 days in a row, huh? A former Division I college athlete at the University of Nevada, Reno, and captain of their volleyball team. She's a powerful advocate for women and a public voice for preserving the integrity of women's athletics. Sia has bravely spoken out about the importance of protecting the spaces women fought so hard to earn. With me also is Kendall Lewis, a high school volleyball player at Galena High School in Reno, who, despite her young age, has shown uncommon strength by standing up for her teammates and fellow athletes across Nevada. And with me again today is Ava Chavez, a middle school volleyball player that's joined in the effort to preserve her future in women's sport. Their willingness to speak boldly on this issue has inspired others and brought national attention to Nevada's leadership on this matter. These women have spoken out with poise, strength, and conviction. I'm proud to have these brave young women join me today and to thank them for their unwavering commitment to preserving opportunity and fairness for generations of women athletes to come. Please welcome them into the People's House. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Assemblymember Moore.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Conservation Lobby Day. We are joined by dozens of Nevadans from all across the state who have come to advocate for increased conservation efforts and a continued investment in Nevada's clean energy future. I'd like to ask everybody who is in the gallery for Conservation Lobby Day to please stand and be recognized. And I would like to ask that this body make them feel welcome.
Assemblymember Mosca.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I have two special guests with me here today. I have a proclamation from myself as well as my colleague from Assembly District 16, and I'm going to read 2 lines of it. The Ethics Commission are a cornerstone of ethical principles of government, providing rigorous oversight of the conduct of public officers and employees to maintain the public's trust. And the year 2025 marks the 50th anniversary of the Nevada Ethics in Government law, first established by Assembly Bill 610, and through which a state ethics commission was created and charged with establishing code of ethical standards and interpreting and applying such standards to certain sets of facts and circumstances. And so today with me, very excited, we have our Executive Director of the Nevada Commission on Ethics, Ross Armstrong, and we also have Ms. Kim Whalen, who you may recognize, who is the Vice Chair of the Commission and also our former State Controller. Please make them feel welcome on their 50th anniversary today.
Assemblymember Edgeworth.
Thank you, Speaker. Today, it's my honor, please sit down. Today, it's my honor to have 2 friends here from Las Vegas, special guests. Alan Hedrick is a Jewish community leader and civil advocate based in Las Vegas, as well as the Nevada State Director for the Republican Jewish Coalition. As such, Alan works to ensure that Jewish voices are represented in public discourse while fostering bipartisan dialogue on issues that matter to the Jewish community, from combating anti-Semitism to supporting economic opportunity and religious freedom. Rabbi Meth, here with him, serves as the executive director of Las Vegas Kollel, which is a vibrant center for Jewish learning, outreach, and spiritual life. Under his leadership, the Las Vegas Kollel has grown to include a thriving synagogue that serves individuals and families from across the Las Vegas Valley. Please join me in making them feel welcome.
Assemblymember Brown May.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am thrilled to follow up on our vote that we just took a little bit ago. I am joined today by Mr. Mick Bullock, who is our NCSL representative here. He has flown all the way from Washington, D.C. to be a part of this, and I think that we simply cannot let this session end without recognizing him. Thanks to NCSL and their professional development, I participated in sessions over the interim that were about the opioid epidemic, healthcare policy, workforce solutions, and I am personally grateful for the many, many sessions offered to members. I hope that other members of this body would consider participating in future sessions, as there is, I understand, a conference coming up this summer in Boston where we might see you at. I would really like it if you would all join me in helping to make sure Mr. Bullock feels welcome in our chamber today.
And if I could take a moment of personal privilege and just welcome Mr. Bullock to the chamber as well, and just say that I've had the honor to participate in a number of NCSL trainings over the years, and probably none more significant to my life than being able to travel to Normandy and be on the beaches of Normandy and be in the American cemetery that is there and pay my respects to several Nevadans who traveled across the ocean and fought for freedom in World War II. And a lot of great programs, but that one will stick with me for a number of reasons. So I want to encourage members, if you haven't participated in NCSL, please do that. They're a wonderful organization. Welcome to the chamber today. We're going to finish up, I believe, with Assemblymember Hafen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today is Las Vegas Chamber Day here. They're up in 3100. If anybody is here from the Las Vegas Chamber right now, please stand. We'd love to welcome you. See, oh, we got the one representative. He left lunch. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for all that you do.
It's hard to compete with lunch sometimes. Do we have any other order of business 15 remarks from the floor this afternoon? Assemblymember Howdigi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Some announcements for the floor. As you've heard, today is Conservation Lobby Day, hosted by the Nevada Conservation League. They will be having meetings and activities in room 2200 until 5 p.m. Today is also HCA Healthcare Day at the Legislature, and if anyone's here from HCA, Okay, just make sure, oh yay, just making sure to acknowledge them and say hi to them when you see them throughout the building. Today is Vegas Chamber Legislative Day. Please join them after our floor for a luncheon in room 3100. They will be having activities and meetings there until 5 p.m. as well. The Nevada Commission on Ethics is celebrating their 50th anniversary with displays in the front foyer until 4 p.m., so please stop by and make sure to visit them. I do want to let the body know that tomorrow is another busy day here at the legislature. We are celebrating Raiders Day, Empowered Voices Rally and Lobby Day, and Bleeding Disorders Awareness Day. And we are ending the evening with the State of the Judiciary at 5 p.m., so please remember to be in your seats at 4:45. Seeing no other business before us, Mr. Speaker, I move that the Assembly stand adjourned until Wednesday, March 26, 2025 at the hour of 11:30 a.m.
Assemblymember Howdigay has moved that the Assembly stand adjourned until Wednesday, March 26, 2025 at the hour of 11:30 a.m. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed, nay. Motion carries. We are adjourned.
Assembly Education will be meeting at 12:30. Assembly Education, 12:30.